I want you to think about the worst possible thing that has happened to you recently or even a few years ago, months ago, weeks ago, whatever. You probably still think about that thing and call it a tragedy, okay? We call these things bad because they hurt. We call negative conversations that didn't really go as planned as bad because we didn't get what we wanted to get. We experience pain and we say that it hurts and that there's nothing positive that we can get out of it. When in reality, feelings are temporary. The feeling that you feel in that moment is temporary. It's not going to last forever. You're going to get through it eventually. Even if it takes you 5 years, you will get through it. But the consequences, the things that we carry out from that situation are long term. They stay with us. Some doors close because we're not meant to stay in that room right now. Most of the time, we want clarity very quickly. We want to know what the meaning of this situation is instantly. But life reveals the true meaning of something in chapters, if you know what I mean. The same thing goes for a book. If you read a book, you're not going to understand the book in the first sentence. Okay? You're going to open it up, and whether it's fantasy, self-improvement book, whether it's a horror book, whatever type of book it is, after you read 1 to 2 sentences, you're not going to understand the whole chapter. That's what chapters are for. They teach you slowly. They make you learn. They make you understand things slowly. Once you go through them, you're going to get clarity. You're going to understand why a character, for example, did something in this book. You're going to understand why they took something. You're going to understand why they started training. You're going to understand why they left their family. Whatever it is, you will understand it in chapters. You're not going to understand it after reading the first 1 to 2 to 3 to 5 to 10 to 20 sentences. So I want you to think about that experience that happened and now take something positive from it, okay? For example, I'm going to share one of my stories. It's not that deep, okay? It's not that deep, but for me at the time it was. I used to struggle a lot with lying, okay? I used to lie about everything. All of this came down to realistically me being accepted in my class because I came from a different country. I didn't really know the language. I was still learning and people were acting up. They didn't really like me. They told me to go back to my place, to go back to my country and stuff like that. And because of that, I started to lie about the things that were happening in my life to feel accepted by these people. And these were small lies. They started from, saying that, for example, I was playing FIFA back then, so I would lie about a squad that I had, right? I would lie that I got Aguero, for example, in a pack opening or something like that. I would lie about my PC, about my graphics card. I would lie about that just to feel validation from these people, just to feel like they actually like me. Damn, bro, a huge spit came out of my mouth. Sorry, I hope that didn't land on you. I used to lie a lot. And this was a very negative experience. It started very innocent, but it turned into something that was a problem because I didn't lie about shit that didn't matter anymore. I started lying to my mum. I started lying to my family. I started lying about things that were serious. I started lying about the grades I was getting. Okay, at the time for example, if I got a bad grade, I used to always tell my mum that I got a bad grade and we, went through it to get a better one next time. But after these situations, after not being accepted by the so-called society that I was in, that I was dragged into, I started lying to my mom about this stuff just to avoid certain consequences, just to avoid certain actions from her and to avoid arguments and stuff like that. And then I started going outside. This was during COVID, something like that, around COVID times. I started going out more. I started going for walks. I started to think about all of these things and why am I doing it? And I got to a point where I understood that this stuff was happening because I could not accept myself and the society couldn't accept me. They didn't accept the character that I was. That's why I was starting to lie about stuff that I heard. When they were talking about them getting a new PC, I had my low-end PC. I was lying about the components that I had, right? When I heard about them playing FIFA, I lied about getting a sick card to get some validation from them, to make them like me more. Being outside made me ask questions like, what is this trying to teach me? Not why am I lying, but what's this lying going to teach me? What am I going to understand about myself after doing these negative things? Okay? Pain is not a punishment. Pain is a movement. Pain is something that brings you knowledge. Pain is something that brings you experience to use in the future. That's how you should understand pain. I didn't understand it. Okay? I felt these lies deep inside of me. I couldn't accept myself lying, but it was the only thing that I really knew. And it only felt right in that moment to do. You have to look at these situations that happen. Whether they're worse than what I just told you. Like I said, it wasn't that deep, but it could have been deeper. Okay? Lying about small stuff goes a long way. You can, like I said, lie about serious things that I did. From lying, there can come, I guess, stealing. I guess stealing is kind of lying because, when you steal, you have to lie that you didn't steal. It goes a long way, okay? Thankfully is the word, bro. My brain ain't working. Thankfully, I didn't steal or do none of that, okay? It didn't go that deep. It didn't get to that point because I understood myself, okay? And you have to understand why these situations happen as well. Don't run away from them. Don't run away from these bad experiences. Don't keep them, closed up in your head because they are still there. You are still keeping these negative experiences in your mind. Why are they negative? Because you named them that. You made them negative by thinking about them in a bad way. I want you to go back to this moment. And what did it teach you? Maybe you were arguing with a friend and you insulted them on a family matter, okay? You took something private out where that shouldn't even happen. You should try to understand, why did you do that? Did you want to feel better? Did you want to win the argument 110% even if it meant taking something private out there? Maybe you started smoking at a very young age. Why did you do that? Was it your friends? Was it your family's influence? Was it just you trying to be cool and now it turned into an addiction? There's many things, okay, that could happen in your life which are bad, but you can learn from these things and adapt later on. Take out the knowledge and use it for the future. Not everything is like it seems. Even if it's very bad, I'm talking about like terrible, like actually terrible. Maybe you got in a car crash or something like that. Learn from it. You can still learn from it. About the car crash, example. I crashed my first car within like 2 months of driving it. Do you know how that felt? That felt terrible. I felt like a loser. I felt like a failure in driving. Okay, I believe that I don't know how to drive. I was afraid and scared to drive afterwards for a decent amount of time. But I understood that in that situation, I should have done something different. I should have waited instead of rushed to go through, right? I should have simply waited. I should have stayed more patient. And I took this information out. And now I'm also using it in the future. Now I'm more patient. Now when I drive, I look around, I observe things, and I'm more patient with my decisions, okay? I see a car coming from afar, I wait for it to pass. I don't have to go. Nobody's rushing me, bro. Nobody's rushing me, okay? And the same goes for you guys. Any bad experience that happened definitely can lead to you learning something about yourself more along the way. Just like that guy right there, bro. You see? Yeah. I hope you guys liked this, a little yap session. And yeah, take out the positive things that happen in bad experiences, because there will always be something good that you can take out of a bad situation. You got yourself. I can just help you. But remember, you guys got yourself. I believe in you lot. See you guys.